Duet Night Abyss opened up to the global market a couple of days ago, and I played through the entire game to answer the question, is it free to play or free to pay? I'm Tel, and this is Wallet Watch, a series designed to save you time and money by giving you an honest review and a deep look at the systems and monetization of free-to-play games. Today, we're looking at the new anime Warframe/Dynasty Warriors action RPG out of China, with a familiar title full of English words that sound super duper cool, but make no sense when strung together, Duet Night Abyss. 2 months before launch, Pan Studio confirmed that Dream Nexus Arcana would have absolutely no pay to win in it whatsoever, and actually opted to take the risk to remove gacha from the game. In their own livestream, they cited examples such as hating to save resources to get a character you want, or even worse, spending those resources only to miss out and be forced to swipe. So, promises of no pay to win, no gacha for characters, and no stamina systems with everything in-game always fully earnable. But from a Chinese developer and publisher. This is definitely a story we've heard before, so let's take a look at how it really works. Dual Nova Arclight starts you off by picking your preferred self-insert main character and drops you into a cave with your childhood best friend. This is anime, so both of you have crushes on each other but wouldn't dare to act on it. The game is full of English and European voice acting, some good.
Is this your idea of accurate intel, Randy? You gave me your word.
And some not so good.
Get out of here and live.
There is an option to change it to your preferred flavor of Eastern. Remember, this is a Chinese game, so if you change the language to Japanese, even though you don't understand Japanese, you're just a weeaboo. Over the first hour of the game, we're introduced to various movement and gameplay mechanics. You can bullet jump, air dash, wall climb, and slide to get some decent momentum going. But something feels a little off. The literal first house you walk into gives you a weapon used to swing at enemy filthoids in the area. Later on, you pick up a gun to play with and unlock skills on the character you're playing. Combat involves mostly one-button actions. Mash left mouse to do a swing combo, hold left mouse for a charge attack. Get a gun, hold right mouse which acts as aiming and shooting. Later on when you unlock abilities, these are the same one-button mashes or ultimates that are just buffs or pretty-looking skills without much substance. Dusk Nebula Ascension has an obvious influence from various titles such as Warframe and Nier Automata, but it's all at a surface level and completely shallow. A huge problem with these free-to-play games that are on PC and mobile is that no matter how gorgeous the game looks graphically, mechanically they were always held back by their mobile port influence. This is immediately obvious from the get-go as I had to turn off aim assist on PC, something I haven't had to do in like 15 years. Move around like you're piloting an anime girl themed mech suit, but it's fake. There's no actual momentum in any of your movements. You slide and stop even when on a very deep slope. If you take a big fall, you can't carry that momentum through and you just kind of stop rigidly. The same thing applies to the gameplay. Difficulty is scaled around being able to play on a small screen. You can either face roll the content with your eyes closed, particularly story mode content, or you can get your ass kicked because your numbers aren't high enough. Even in the case where my numbers weren't high enough to kill this boss, the damage they were doing to me was negligible, so it was just a battle of attrition. This gets a bit better in the later game when boss fights unlock new mechanics, but I just want to set this expectation clear now. This is a mobile game through and through. That's not to say it's a bad thing, it just depends on what you're looking for. The problem is that Dreadnought access doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists on the PC platform alongside these other games on PC and console, and I believe it should be held to those standards. Getting a bit ahead of myself there. A little later we encounter enemy faction number 2, Nameless Soldiers. You can see during my fight with Chief Baddie here what I was talking about. It looks amazing, but I get clipped here and I take a measly 5 damage, which is regenerated instantly after. Throughout my entire time playing, I never felt under threat, even when pushing higher level content. This could absolutely change later on, but it did make the first 20 or so hours for me quite boring. However, credit where credit is due, when it comes to spectacle, this game does it right. After the defeat, self-insert and childhood bestie perform premarital handholding, which has one clear consequence: unforeseen levels of power called resonance, only surpassed by the MC's uselessness. With the prologue established, we're thrown into Chapter 1. Here is a tutorial chapter where most of the game's mechanics and systems are unlocked. Right off the bat, we unlock a new character, and notably, instead of a gacha pull, you just spend 30 of these tokens to reminisce, and Margie is unlocked permanently. All the familiar systems of modern gacha games are here. You spend soft, earned currencies as experience to level up characters. You can explore the game's open world and find definitely not Genshin chests to get currencies, either randomly in the world or after minigames and puzzles. There are hundreds of collectibles and pages of lore that less than 1% of the player base will actually read, or ingredients that can be found to make consumables later. But the actual gacha stuff is missing. It's almost like it was plucked right out of the game months before launch. Just like they said. Characters can be equipped with weapons. Any melee and ranged weapon combo for any character. There are various upgrade and progression systems which we'll get into a bit later. When playing content, you can equip 2 other additional characters of yours and they will fight alongside you as AI party members, meaning you will want to work with a roster. Other than story content, you unlock tons of different game modes, all giving different rewards. This is the main repeatable content as the open world is quite small. There are currently 10 different game modes called commissions that give the usual types of rewards such as soft currencies, weapon upgrade materials, and character upgrade materials. Usually these events are time gated and cost stamina to play through, but in Drift Null Archive, there are absolutely no limits. Instead, they learn the old rest experience trick in that you earn daily commission manuals which boost the amount of items you get from a run. So instead of punishing players for playing too much, you instead give them bonuses for checking in. Other than the common commissions, there are more major runs you can do. Covert commissions allow you to unlock new characters, weapons, and accessories called wedges. Bounty commissions are locked weekly and also work towards getting powerful accessories. Nocturnal Echoes are repeatable boss fights from the story mode with new mechanics. These drop materials that are required to unlock new characters and weapons. Notably, instead of pure RNG, you can basically choose which reward you're aiming to get per fight. These have a weekly lockout of 5 per week. Next, you'll also unlock the Mystic Maze. This is the now mandatory roguelike game mode similar to Honkai Star Rail's simulated universe. You'll perform runs and get random upgrades to accrue score for currency rewards once a week. Finally, as you push a little further into the story, the Immersive Theater opens up. This is challenge content that demands that you have ideally a full roster of characters to push through it. Here is where you'll unlock the most recently launched characters and weapons for free once every 28 days. Other than weekly lockouts, none of these systems have limits on how much you can play them to get rewards. With all that out the way, let's talk about progression and microtransactions. In Dynamic Nano Aether, just like modern gacha games, you upgrade your characters and weapons to level limits and ascend their level caps with soft currency, experiences, and upgrade materials thrown through commissions. Because there's no gacha, there are no 3 or 4 or 5 star units, and everyone appears to be on equal footing. I'm sure that out of the 19 character roster, some characters will be better than others, but elemental bonuses are also applied, so upgrading a diverse team will be beneficial. Skills can be upgraded through commission materials as well as accessories called demon wedges, which modify stats and give boosts. These can be equipped on both characters and weapons. In the late game, the best wedges come from rare drops or even blueprints which you need to spend currencies to create. Lastly, you can equip a bonus support skill in the form of Gynamons, which have an ability and a passive. These are randomly found in the world at different rarities and tiers. You capture them with food, which you have unlimited of, or can make better food at the forge using commission materials. So if there's no gacha, how do you unlock a character or weapon? Well, to run covert missions, you need secret letters. These secret letters are found in the shop using clues that you earn from playing the game, or from things such as Nocturnal Echoes weekly boss fights and the Immersive Theater mentioned earlier. These secret letters let you run a covert commission once each and gives you a chance at getting thoughts of a character. It takes 30 thoughts to get a character, and you have a decent chance of getting 2, or a 10% chance to get 10. Enough hits of these and the character is yours. These runs can take as little as 1 to 2 minutes as your main character gets stronger. You can't run these covert missions forever for infinite farm, as dailies and weeklies somewhat gate them in the long term. However, ultimately, if you want to get a specific character, you'll be able to do so without much issue at all. It is worth noting that duplicates can be used to get powerful bonuses. You can upgrade characters by getting 30 of the respective thoughts, and weapons by getting duplicate weapons. This is normally a pretty big concern, but all the characters in the game's roster are unlocked permanently, so there's no additional time pressure to get a character upgraded before it rotates away. When the latest character leaves the immersive theater, you'll instead be able to buy the secret letters using in-game currency. Now let's take a look at how the shop interacts with these systems. There are 2 hard or paid currencies, Foxine and Foxine Plumels. I'm just going to call them plums for short because they look kind of yum and it's just easier to say. Foxine can be earned for free through events, rewards, etc. And plums are paid only. Plums can be turned into Foxine. There are plum exclusive purchases as well. Plums come in the usual packaging sizes, ranging from 60 to 65 per US dollar. For simplicity, we'll be using dollars for the rest of the video. There's a monthly pass subscription for $5 US that gives a limited time exclusive reward every month, a token amount of plums, and Foxine for logging in every day. Note that the login reward is Foxine and not Plumels. There's also the Bard's Tome, a battle pass system that gives pretty much exclusively EXP rewards and some Foxine for $10 US, and a bonus seasonal limited edition outfit for $20. Foxine can be spent on dyes, basic hourglasses, and these track modules, which allow you to basically equip more wedges on characters and weapons. You can craft these in-game for free, too. Everything else is purchased with plums exclusively. Let's start with the gacha system. Yep, there is one, but it is cosmetic only. Basically, hourglasses can be purchased or rarely given out as rewards to pull on the permanent banner or a rotating limited time banner. This limited time banner will go away and not return. Pulls from these banners give exclusively cosmetic items, and the 5-star equivalent pull is a full outfit. They did, however, go all out on these outfits, as they've not only just changed the look of the character, but the effects as well. Outfits themselves have 9 different dye channels you can change, which also change the color of the battle effects. Outfits and cosmetics have absolutely no stats on them. Both banners have a guaranteed pity of 90 pulls, or $220 outright with no 50-50 chance. You'll either get the premium item or currency you can use to buy the skin itself or other items. I'd say the worst part about this banner, other than the inherent FOMO behind it, is that the pity does not carry over between banners, giving it a strong sunk cost fallacy. Other than the gacha, there are packs that give token amounts of progression items from commissions or commission boosts. You can also buy thoughts directly or weapons outright. This allows you to skip any grind and unlock any character you want. It takes $50 of plums to buy a weapon, and about $70 to buy a character outright once. Packages are priced awkwardly in that, excluding some welcome bonuses, it does take 2 purchases to get a character from scratch, but weapons cost the same as the $50 package. It is worth noting that to fully smelt a weapon it will cost $300, and to fully intro on a character it would be $500. But this option appears to be priced at whales, and with only matchmaking based co-op content, similar to Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact, there isn't a lot of in-game pressure to go this hard unless you're a Saudi prince who really likes anime waifus. Finally, there are cosmetics that are available for purchase with either plums or directly. Some of them are priced with extreme fake value propositions such as 94% off for a legally distinct lightsaber to try and get you to spend your first dollar. Once again, these are fully cosmetic with no effect on gameplay. To my pleasant surprise, that's actually it. The entire storefront is exactly what it says on the tin. There aren't many underhanded tricks to get you to swipe. Thoughts and secret letters are set up in a way that you can end up in situations with 26 out of the 30 that you need, so you say screw it and pay the last $10 you need to get the character that you want. But really, this game is pay to progress through and through. And as with most pay to progress titles, By paying to skip the grind, you're just paying to play the game less. The very fancy gacha outfits are egregiously expensive, but they've made them in a way that at least increases their value by letting you customize them too. Look, it doesn't feel great to say this $200 skin locked behind gambling is actually pretty fair monetization, but that's more of a topic about the gaming industry itself. As for the gameplay, there are currencies exclusive to daily rewards that will halt your progression. Dailies and weeklies are the only repeatable source of clues, which means that eventually, if you grind for a lot of hours, you will hit a cap on how many secret letters you can earn for free. That being said, the rate at which you earn them from content outside of the dailies and presumably upcoming events and patches is very generous for the casual player. And in my experience playing it, I would have had no problems unlocking the entire roster over a period of time. Most importantly, with no stamina limits and characters never disappearing from the game, you do not feel forced or left behind if you do not play every day. The main story gives you 8 or so out of the 19 characters right off the bat, and because there's not a divide between free and premium characters, they all felt pretty viable to play after a little bit of investment. So is Directive Neo Await pay to win? Well, in my opinion, not at all. It's just pay to skip. Everyone's definition and tolerance of these monetization schemes nowadays is different. But the game offers no advantage over free-to-play players other than finishing the game faster. There is online matchmaking, but it's level-based, and there's no opportunities to gatekeep. Additionally, the grinds in this game are reasonable and not built in a way that paying is the only way to move forward. What's important to me is that you're reasonably able to unlock characters faster than they release them, which, as most free-to-play players will know, is usually impossible in most gacha games. You can push characters to max with $500 worth of currency, but unlike other games in the gacha space, there's no FOMO or time limit for the characters and weapons, so it's actually realistic to be able to max your preferred character through normal play. Some of their monetization practices are aggressive, but not uncommon in today's market. My advice is to keep an eye out for foot in the door sales, as they want you to spend just $1 on a cool lightsaber, because doing this makes you statistically more likely to spend much more money later on. Also, don't get caught up in sunk cost fallacy for a limited skin, because it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. As for the game itself, the gameplay makes it a strong contender against games such as Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact. However, I believe it falls short of PC-focused titles that it's replicating, such as Warframe. Playing through the story content was a bit slow for my taste, but it picks up the pace in later chapters. The difficulty was never a challenge or fun for me other than mashing left mouse, but the animation and spectacle of the game made it worth playing for the price tag of $0. Like anime arcs, there's an overarching mystery established from the beginning, and the game spends a lot of time focusing on the individual characters before moving on to the next waifu. Duet Night Abyss proves that free-to-play games don't have to nickel and dime you to death, but it also proves that fair monetization alone doesn't make a great game. It's a beautiful, fair, and functional product that just needs a little more soul in its systems and gameplay to go from good to great. Still, if this is where free-to-play is heading, it's good to take a step forward instead of another step back. Thank you so much for watching, and I genuinely would love to hear from you in the comments about the review or DNA if you ended up playing it. Like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.
Are you inviting me on a date?